Beautiful day, Patriots. How are you? Is Q political or is Q biblical? That's a 107 question you can ask yourself. We're going to get into that in a little bit. Let's go ahead and keep on going down the line here. I believe the next president would be George Bush Jr., correct? And we know Bush is a shrub, it's a weed, it is something that's not supposed to be. It's an invasive species. A weed, a bush, is a invasive species. Oh well. Let's go ahead and do this. We're going to go ahead and mirror his name, correct? We mirror his name, and it is HSUB. HSUB. Human sub. H sub. We're going to break this down, and we're going to go look at first, because there is no word HSUB, but there is the abbreviation for HS. HS. Let's go look at that and see what that might be. We're going to grab our dictionary here. We're going to go to President Bush's name mirrored. And we're going to use etymology and see if there's any witchcraft that they use in their names. In the dictionary, HS is an abbreviation for a few things. Number 2 is here is buried. The abbreviation HS stands for here is buried. So far, we can look at President Bush's name as mirrored as the abbreviation HS as here is buried. The next one, you. Oh man, here is buried you. Oh, true. Oh well. You, I couldn't find anything for UB. There is U and there is B. Now if we look at B, we can see that it does have quite a few abbreviations in B. Oh, brotherhood is one of them. Brotherhood. Here is buried, you brotherhood. Well, yes, but also I'm just saying that the Muslim Brotherhood is part of the American politics, and Bush's names here is buried. But we're looking for biblical things. B could stand for bishop. Bid, which we just looked at, is pray. Here is your buried prey. But Bible. Bible. Number 28, definition of just B is Bible in the dictionary. Now, I'm not saying that it is, but if you took President Bush's last name, you know, the weed, the invasive species, that's what that word means. Not him personally. The word means invasive species. If you mirrored it like witchcraft and witches do, you could read his name. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying if you took his name and the letters and looked them up in the dictionary in a certain way, it could be spelt and read as here is buried you, or let's say your, here is buried your Bible. HS is the acronym for here is buried your Bible. You. Here is buried you Bible. Just a coincidence. Just an absolute coincidence. Right? So now Obama was the president that followed President Bush, correct? And we just went over and found that Bam is fool. Zero Obama, fool one, right? And if we go over to IPEC GOAT 2, the video, people have been looking at this for years and years, and it changes throughout time in the sense of how it gets dissected and looked at. But if we go and look at IPEC GOAT, we can see President George Bush Jr. in this video. And, you know, the symbolism in the background is insane. And we know how to read these things a little bit better now. But in there, President Bush Jr. says, "Fool me once, can't fool me again." And the next president is Obama, and Bam means fool. It also says laugh out loud, which we were just talking about, the laugh out loud metaverse 2 days ago. But I also want to ask you something. In the Q movement, there is somebody that has just recently come out publicly, but up until for a very long time, he loved doing his videos of him talking to anybody that would listen to him, saying that he understood Q, and he would sit there and show, as he's talking, a picture of his cowboy boot. Right? Let's see, how do you draw a cowboy boot? I don't even know. Right? You know what I'm talking about. 107. The guy who does nothing more than just scramble from the daily news and give his opinion of he thinks what's going to happen next. Never looking bigger. 107. Now, let's get back to this IPEC GOAT. Yeah? We're talking about all the symbolisms. We're talking about, oh, HS also stands for high school. High school. And the IPEC GOAT scene is done in a high school. And that's because President Bush was in a, well, he wasn't in a high school. He was in an elementary school. So let's slow down. Okay, so in IPEC GOAT, we can see all the different symbolisms. We can see President Bush say fool right before he turns magically into Obama, whose name means fool. Coincidence, I'm sure. But as the scenes change, there is an apple that rolls across the floor on the checkered, black and white checkered floor. And this apple stops at the foot of a boot. And next to that boot, scribbled and painted on the floor, is 7-0. And then the boot. Why does 107 always sit there and show his boot when he's talking anonymously, pretending like he knows like insider information? And when we go and look at IPEC GOAT, LO boot 07. 07. One boot 07. 107. Huh. Who do you guys really follow that is these anonymous people? Is it getting just a little bit coincidental that all of our top political leaders can be tied back into witchcraft etymology into the Bible and not for your best interest? Don't be a fool and follow politics and have faith in man. Every single one of us have been let down by a man. And we as men and women, we let others down. Not on purpose, it's just the learning process here on this earth. As I grow, I will let others down that want to keep me down, or